Hi, it's Monica from Rollbar. Today I'll show you how to integrate Rollbar into your Ruby on Rails project so that you can catch and fix errors in real time. Here I have the Rollbar onboarding screen up. This is the screen you will encounter if you have just signed up for Rollbar. If you already have existing Rollbar projects, then you can create a new project under the projects list. Here I have a basic web page that I can trigger front-end and back-end errors for testing purposes. Now let's go back to the Rollbar onboarding page and click on the Get Started button. On this page, I can select the SDK, which in this example is Ruby on Rails. Now let's click on View Setup Instructions. Right off the bat, I am going to name my project so I can identify what project this is. Now in step 1, I can copy the gem Rollbar snippet into my gem file. I'll also copy this line with Rails generate that will create the Rollbar config file, including the access token. Now let's run a bundle install. Now I'll paste in the Rails generate line I copied. We can see the new file generated by the command, which includes the rollbar configuration. Finally, let's run a rake rollbar test. This generates a test item that will be sent to rollbar. Alright, navigating back to rollbar, we can see that we have a new item detected, which will refresh and take us to the item list page. We can click in and see the new item details. Here, I just want to briefly go back and add custom data and person data to a backend error I can trigger from my page. By adding custom data into the custom parameter, they become searchable in Rollbar. I am going to save these changes and make sure I refresh everything before I try triggering any errors so that the changes take effect. Now I'll trigger a front-end error and a back-end error. Note that currently we do not have front-end JS errors configured, so that will not show up in Rollbar just yet. Let's go to the item list page and see our new backend error. Scrolling down to the parameters, you can see the custom data we added as well as the people tracking data I've added. Now let's go back and add front-end JS errors to Rollbar as well. For this, you can refer to our documentation at docs.rollbar.com. Under the Ruby topic, there is a section for integration with Rollbar.js. I'll just copy this snippet and put it in my Rollbar config file. It requires a post-client item access token, which we can get by navigating to the Projects tab, clicking on your project, and navigating to Project Access Tokens. Here, I want to create a new token with post-client item access. Then I'll copy this token and save it in the configuration. Now let's test it out by triggering an error and going back to the Rollbar items page. The error hasn't come in. I'll need to restart my Rails server for the changes to take effect. Now let's try again and trigger a JS error. And there it is at the top. And that's it. For more configuration details, you can refer to Rollbar's documentation at docs.rollbar.com.